I'm streaming right now. Come check me out.
Γίνεις αυτόν που με λιμιτίνος πατρός πέθηκας.
As I get older, the more I become fascinated with history. Learning about our successes and triumphs, learning about our failures, learning about us as humans. And the main way I like to learn and experience our history is through video games. Period piece games offer such a deep level of immersion within that time period. The feeling of taking a step into that period of our history at a specific moment in time. And for me, the game doesn't have to be an accurate depiction of that point in history. Whether it's games like Rise of the Ronin, where you literally fight Matthew Perry like it's a Ninja Gaiden game, or like Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, where I'm pretty sure there weren't demons roaming around ancient China. It's about the feeling, the aesthetics, what the developers and artists try to convey through this time period. That's the kind of history that is so fascinating to me. There's no other way to experience this facet of history other than in video games. There's a little experiment that I'd like you to do the next time you play a game set in a time period long past. Turn off the HUD, turn off the music, and just listen. There's a history hidden right beneath our noses that goes largely unnoticed. That history is the sound of nature. I think as humans, we tend to think the sounds of nature are constants, that they're the same because they generally sound similar. But in these time periods, there are different birds, different trees, different air, different wind that we'll never be able to experience. Within these period piece video games, you may think that you are hearing the same sounds as you are today, but they're actually the sounds of the past. The specific birds, the specific trees rustling in the wind will forever be engraved in the past. And video games can give you that glimpse. Like I said before, accuracy really has no bearing on my interest in period piece video games. To say that accuracy is pointless would be, in my opinion, misguided, because the more accurate a period piece game is, the more immersed I can feel within that time period. But through artistic expression within this medium allows you to explore facets of our own human history in ways that we couldn't before. You know, in the past, we would often write books and stories, and we still do, about mythical elements, gods, and exaggerated retellings of events that actually happened. But with video games, we are capable of taking those mythologies, those real events that happened in our history, and make them feel the most alive that they've ever been. I think the main reason I've become more fascinated with history and exploring history through video games is because it gives me greater context as to how it would be living in that time period. You know, we play these games like Ghost of Yotei or Assassin's Creed Shadows or Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and we see the beauty of it. And I'm sure it was very beautiful, but it was also a very hard time to live, especially in Japan. You know, you had the Warring States era, Ronin roamed, you didn't know if you were going to die, there was massive famine, looting, pillaging, of course. You know, life expectancy back in the day was not very high, for any number of reasons. But I think that also lends itself well to video games to show the positive side of history. I'm sure just as much, if not even more, of human history has been about admiring nature, taking a moment to breathe, to see your surroundings. And that's what I love about period piece video games is you can see these landscapes that have forever changed due to the progress of humanity. These landscapes that you see in these games, these civilizations, these people are gone forever. And video games give us a way to peer into that, to experience that, to live life as if it were 1600s feudal Japan or 400 BCE in Greece. You might notice that two of these games are set in Japan. I do have a preference for Japan. I think the gaming industry kind of has a preference for feudal Japan. It's a pretty hot type of game to make. So that's why I wanted to include Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But there's plenty of period piece games such as Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is hyper accurate to the time period in Bohemia. I mentioned earlier that accuracy isn't as important to me, but when it is accurate, it's awesome because you get to see how the people of the past lived. You get to see the technology, how they stored food, how they made weapons, how they lived, and it's incredibly fascinating for me. I hope we get more period pieces. But yeah, I love period piece games. I love video games in general. I really like role playing as if I'm in that time period. I really like taking a moment within these games and just observing, walking through these cities, hearing the native people walk, seeing people doing their job, whether it's markets, whether it's building ships like in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, whether it's farming. All of these things were cornerstones and are still cornerstones in human society, but to see how they did it in the past and not being so focused on the game aspect, but instead being focused on that human aspect is incredibly satisfying for me. Um, Not many people might agree with me. I'm not sure, but I just love video games. So, the next time you play a game set in the past, take a moment to just listen. Take a moment to live in that time period. Notice the things that are still there today. Notice the things that are gone. And thank you for watching.